Hi, this is Jason Clark here at South Dakota State University, and today we're going to talk about our nitrogen recommendation system and what factors are important and kind of measurements of how important they are and how much each one helps us improve that overall accuracy for our nitrogen recommendation equation. So let's go ahead and jump on over to the slide here behind us and look at our equation. So here we have our typical nitrogen rate equation. We're going to start out with our yield goal, 144 pounds per bushels per acre in this field. We're going to multiply it by our coefficient of 1 pound of nitrogen per bushel of corn. Subtract that soil test nitrogen level, say 58 pounds of N per acre. We grew soybean before, so we're going to subtract another 40 pounds of N. And let's say we're newly no-till, just a couple years. So we're going to add 30 pounds of N. If we're older, more than 5 or 6 years, probably don't need that extra 30 pounds. But then from there, we're going to calculate that out, 105 pounds of nitrogen per acre. Divide that by 46% N in urea, and we're at about 228 pounds of urea per acre. So the question is we have all these different factors. We have our yield goal factor, our coefficient, our multiplier, our soil test N, our legume credit, our no-till debit. All of these different things are in this. So how much do each of these help us improve our overall equation? That's this next part we're going to look into here. And that's what this question becomes here. So here we're going to look at improvement. And right now on our y-axis we're going to look at the percentage of the time having that factor in there helps us improve our equation. So the first thing we're going to look at is recently we've moved from a 1.2 multiplier coefficient to 1.0. And we're going to look at whether this is across all of South Dakota, the eastern region, and the central region. So if we look here at just moving that 1.2 to 1.0, 73 to 81% of the time we're seeing an improvement by doing so. Now if we add soil test nitrogen, very similar, in the central part of the state it's the lowest at 60% improvement, but then the rest of the state, 76 to 81% overall, we're seeing improvement by using soil test N in that equation and not forgetting to use it. Now if we use that legume credit, if we grew soybean or alfalfa or something else before, so making sure we use that legume credit where needed, we see again 70 to 76% of the time we're seeing an improvement in our recommendations by using that factor. Now using our no-till debit, that plus 30 pounds, is similar. In the central region only 40%, but eastern and all of South Dakota 68 to 77% of the time we're improving it. So generally we're seeing that when we're using these different factors, they're each improving our nitrogen rate recommendation, but by how much? So that's what we're going to look at now. Instead of percentage, we're looking at actually pounds of nitrogen per acre. So if we look at using that 1.0 instead of 1.2, we're seeing across South Dakota we improve our nitrogen recommendation by 19 pounds of N per acre. 7 in the central, 23 in the eastern. Now if we look at our soil test N, we're seeing 10 pounds of N per acre improvement, 25 to 29 for all the state or the eastern part. And if we're improving it by 25 pounds of N, that means we're saving 25 pounds of nitrogen, which is $1 a pound of nitrogen. That's $25, $29 per acre, which can add up over several acres in a field. Now if we're looking at that legume credit, if we're adding that into the equation, we're saving anywhere from 3 in the central to 13 to 17 pounds overall across the state of our recommendation, improving that accuracy. Now our no-till is a little different story. We're seeing on average we're actually lowering. But that shows us this is looking at no-till regardless of the number of years we've been in no-till. But we've seen that after 5 or 6 years that tends to go away, so that's likely an update that needs to come into the recommendation in the coming years as we get some more data in on some long-term studies that we're currently working on. But as always, thank you for your time, and know that each one of those points, soil test N, using that 1.0 instead of 1.2, our legume credit, our no-till, and our soil test N are very important. They can save you a good chunk of change in your nitrogen recommendation accuracy. As always, if you have more questions, shoot me an email or give me a phone call or follow us on social media for more updates.